Hi, I'm Jackson.
I'm Lauren.
And this is Who It At?
The Masked Singer
And Dancer
Podcast.
Hey there, everybody. Welcome back to
Who It At? The Masked Singer
and Singer
Podcast.
Woo! I went singer and singer this time, because if you didn't know, if you're living under a rock, if you're living under a shell, which could apply to multiple of our contestants tonight, then you don't know that The Masked Singer was back. But The Masked Singer is back if you were not living under those things. I don't know if I said
True.
that right. But
yeah, The Masked Singer
anyways,
is back.
The Masked Singer is
Finally.
back. I'm so excited. Yeah. We have a lot to talk about. We
do.
A whole lot to talk about.
do.
We have some disagreements here on this podcast.
Oh, we do.
And we will get to it soon. Actually, we won't get to it soon. That's going to be the last thing we talk about. However, we still have a lot of things to talk about. This was the season premiere of Season 5. The 5th season of The Masked Singer.
That's right.
That's delightful. It was a really good opening episode, I think.
I thought it was a great opening episode until the end.
All right, and we'll get to it. I'm sure
Yeah.
you know kind of what we're talking about if you have watched the episode.
If you don't, you should probably watch the episode first.
Probably should watch the episode, because we're going to talk about all of it, every single bit, every single tiny, teensy detail. But first off, if you're joining us for the first time, since this is a new season,
true.
hopefully, welcome.
Yeah.
Basically, we're a recap show. We talk about The Masked Singer. We talk about all of our predictions, all of the judges' predictions, all of everything.
Clues?
The clues, and our banter is fun, I think.
Hopefully.
Hopefully they'll bring us on. Maybe
Yeah.
we could be guest panelists at some point.
Aww,
if we
that'd
got
be
big
fun
enough.
someday.
Yeah,
So if
someday.
you want to work to make us big enough,
True.
we would really appreciate it if you would give us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts.
Yes, and Lauren is going to check if we have any more reviews, which we might not, because we've had a hiatus.
It's a new season. We
Yeah.
get it.
Yeah, but if you haven't and you like this, go on, give us 5 stars, give us a rating and a review. That really helps us move up the charts, gain notoriety, knock on the door of The Masked Singer, be like, hey, we exist. While Lauren is doing that, also follow us on social media, please, at WhoIsThatPod on Instagram and Twitter.
Ooh, wait. Oh my gosh. Okay, so we got one, looks like on Monday.
Oh, Monday.
And this says, they asked a question for us to potentially answer on our preview episode, which we did on Patreon. So they said, my question is, would you rather have Zebra win the Masked Dancer or White Tiger win the Masked Singer?
I will answer Zebra winning the Masked Dancer. A couple reasons. One, I am not as invested in the Masked Dancer. Spoiler alert. But also, too, I think Zebra was closer to being good at dancing than White Tiger ever was at being good at singing.
White Tiger was so off-key.
Yeah.
I mean, I think Gronk is a really fun guy, and I think Oscar De La Hoya was really fun on The Masked Dancer, too.
I think, while White Tiger might have been a little bit, more fun, I think fun and skill combined, Zebra is far
Yeah, and I think
better.
we definitely saw some improvement from Zebra over the course of the season. He wasn't doing just as much flailing by the end.
Correct. There was a little more specific movement.
Yeah.
Yeah,
so I think I'd rather have Zebra win the Masked Dancer, at least at this juncture, where that's a much smaller show than the Masked Singer.
Wouldn't be as big of a deal.
And we really appreciate your review, so thank you so much, CloudFury_42.
Thank you, CloudFury_42. We really appreciate you.
Yeah.
If you want to be like Cloud Fury, we'll read your review on the air, we promise.
That's
because at this point, unless we get 1 million, but we don't think we will. But we'd like to be pleasantly surprised, so please do it.
Yeah.
Also, we have a Patreon.
We do, and we actually did put a preview episode on there for this season.
Yes.
Just a rundown of, what's different about this season, all the different costumes.
Yeah.
And just, our preliminary, way too early predictions.
Yeah, and I think it still scans because, obviously we still have half of the contestants to go through. And, some of our guesses might not be too bad.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Maybe it's good. All right. Yes, Patreon, linked in our description. All of these things will be linked in our description if you have questions.
Yes.
Okay.
I think those are all of our big things. Follow
Lauren
us on
a
social
look.
media. Who
I
is
already
that
did
pod?
that.
Never mind. Okay. All right, let's jump into it. So,
Let's
Masked
do it.
Singer Season 5, guest hosted for now by Niecy Nash.
Yes. What did you think of Niecy, Lauren?
I thought she was so fun.
She was great.
I think she's really fun. You
Yeah.
know, and like, I think that she has a very comparable energy to Nick Cannon.
I agree.
You know?
I think she fit right in very easily.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
And I mean, she definitely inherited the being Ken's parent.
Yeah.
Which is a little weird. It was weird
It's a
when Nick
little
did it.
strange.
It's also weird when Niecy Nash
Yeah.
does it.
But
you know it's fine.
It's part of the charm,
It's part
I guess.
of the show
It's what
at
we
this
got.
point.
Yes, ma'am. Let's see. I have a couple just overall notes. I was typing this as we were about to watch it. My excitement is overflowing right now. I am watching the Pepsi commercial before this comes on, and my heart is beating so fast. We got a Pepsi commercial on Hulu
We
for
did.
us.
She really made an entrance, you know? Like, they had some cool dancers coming out, and then they carried her in on a throne.
Yeah, that was great. Even before that, though, they did like the little circus-themed promo,
that was really fun.
the video package, which I really liked.
Yeah.
I thought it was a lot of fun.
And it looked like in that video package, they kind of hinted at the wild card contestants, and
They
looks
did.
like there were 5 silhouettes.
Yeah, that's what it
what we
felt like.
think.
One of them was a whale. I saw a whale.
Yeah. A whale or a shark or something. I
Yeah.
think whale probably makes more sense since we just had a shark on...
Killer whale, maybe.
Ooh, maybe. Since we just had a shark on The Masked Dancer.
Yeah.
But
I could not pick out anyone else. However, I'm sure they'll show them again.
I thought I saw something that looked like it had, like, antennas or something. I don't remember.
I think you're right. So my guess for those wildcard contestants, we have to get at least one every other episode, right?
At least. Because if there are 5 and there are only
5.
10 actual contestants,
Yeah.
I mean, that's only, like, 8 episodes.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, actually, now that I think about it, if they do have wildcard contestants, like, if someone is supposed to get out and then they have to fight for their lives against a wildcard contestant, that will make it even. Right?
Well, I thought that what was happening is that person would still get out, and then the wild card would come in to potentially take out another contestant.
Oh, really?
Or
Is
get
that what it
unmasked.
was?
That's the impression I got from reading the article.
Interesting.
The Entertainment Weekly article. Credit them.
ET.
But yeah.
No, EW.
Yeah. It's ew.
Ew.
Ew. But
Well,
anyway.
I kind of hope, now that I say it, that it's my way, because that would prolong the
so they can
season.
fight for their lives.
Well, yeah.
It would prolong the season. You're right.
Because that would make it, like, 15
But I mean, that would add,
contestants.
that would add a lot. I mean, then they might have to do some double eliminations and stuff.
Yeah.
You know?
But I mean, I feel
But
like
still.
it would be roughly comparable to, like, the past couple seasons they've had.
That's true.
Because we had, like, 18 contestants last time, didn't we?
Yeah, we did.
Yeah, so I think I'd be okay with it.
Yeah. Or no. We
Personally.
didn't have 18 last time. I think we had 16 last time, but we had 18 the season before.
Yeah, 18, 16. This would be 15.
I guess.
So
yeah, that's true.
still less. So yeah, we got a little glimpse of them. If you got a better glimpse and you had like, oh, there was a wildebeest, there was a rhinoceros.
Yeah.
Actually, wait, we've already had rhino.
Let
Rhino
us
came
know
back
in our iTunes reviews.
Yes, please. We got a little preview of Cluckadoodle-Doo. I thought Cluckadoodle-Doo was gonna be like all over the stage. Like, I thought he was gonna be just everywhere. It's a little different than what I expected.
Well, yeah, because with the costume, he kind of looked like a jester or something. So I
Yeah.
thought he was going to be very showman-y.
Yeah.
Not like, I hacked into the show.
And he
you know?
did. That was his vibe. He was a hacker vibes, which was fine.
But it is interesting that we're getting some clues that the panel supposedly doesn't get.
Yeah, with like the ones at the beginning.
Now,
mean?
granted, their guesses aren't always great. So
Yeah. For sure.
You know.
And we didn't get a clue for him, did we? He said, watch out for clues for me.
No, all he said was,
and we didn't
I'll
get
also
one.
point out some that the judges missed, like this one.
Like the bratwurst.
Yeah.
But we'll get to that.
Yeah, we'll get to it.
We typically do a Nick Cannon outfit rating.
True.
Let's do a Niecy Nash outfit rating.
10.
10 out of 10.
Yep.
10 out of 10.
Gorgeous, beautiful,
Yeah.
dynamic,
It was awesome.
kind.
It was a really cool jumper.
Yeah.
I liked it. All right. That was easy.
Jumpsuit, not jumper.
Whatever. That was easy.
That was easy.
Moving on. I like the little Masked Singer tour bus.
Yeah, it's so cute.
It was very cute. What they did for
Little
their
remote
first
control
impression
car.
guesses. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was very sweet.
Yeah.
Let's see. Creepier costume. Russian dolls or Snail?
Snail.
Really? No, I'm saying Russian dolls for me.
The Russian dolls are kind of creepy, but I think the fact that the mouth moves makes it fun for me. And
See,
like the
no,
second one
that makes
dances
it worse for
around.
me.
I don't know. I think it's fun.
For me, if I had a unique experience where I saw each of them in a dark room, I turn around, I see Snail, I'm like, ah, but then I look closer and I'm like, oh, that's cute, whatever. I turn around and see Russian dolls, I still go, ah, and then I look at them harder and I'm like, ugh. You know,
I mean, I guess with Russian dolls, there are two of them, so they might corner you a
bit
little easier
intimidating.
than the snail.
I can't tell who they are, what their body type is. How am I gonna, defend myself?
I guess. I mean, you
Who
can't
knows?
tell what snail's body type is either, but
Yeah, but I could probably push Snail over a little. Well, I don't know. Russian dolls are not top heavy. They're probably bottom heavy. Just 'cause
Russian
the way
dolls? Well, snail's definitely more bottom heavy.
Yeah, but he's smaller, especially as we found out. But we'll get into that.
We'll get to that.
We'll get to that. Alrighty. So
So
I think we
Russian
could
doll,
go to
yeah,
the
first
contestants.
performance. When they came out, I think maybe we'll do performance then clues, but I'll just do that
Yeah,
one clue when they came out.
we like to do that. Yeah.
Of Russian doll can have up to 15 replicas of itself.
Yes.
So that definitely came into play in the performance. We did already kind of know that Russian doll was actually going to be Russian dolls
Yes.
with two of them because
Uh-huh.
we actually saw a clip that was posted on the Masked Singer's Instagram
Yes.
of both of them singing Shallow from A Star Is Born. And I thought that was what we were going to be seeing tonight, but instead it was Man in the Mirror by Michael Jackson.
Yeah.
And they were great.
Yeah. So yeah, let's let's dive into their performance. I really enjoyed it. I think it was up there with the best performance of the night.
I agree.
It was very strong. They sang well together too.
They absolutely did.
They
It sounded
harmonized really well. I think this is a group who has probably been together and done this a lot.
great. Jeez, what would make you think that, Jackson?
I don't like the way I'm being treated right now.
I wasn't trying to be mean.
I don't like it. I don't like it. Anyways, good song choice. Great song by Michael Jackson.
Yeah.
And they sang it really well. And I feel like a hard song to sing. I don't know. It's high.
Oh, yeah. If you're gonna make the world a better place.
Yeah.
Hey, maybe that's something that our eliminated contestant would have done well. The high voice.
Yeah, maybe. But yeah, I thought they both did it really well. They handled a hard song really well.
They did.
I'm excited. I wonder, there's obviously limited mobility in the costumes.
Yeah.
So I wonder if that is going to
the small one definitely has a little bit more mobility with the hands sticking out and the feet.
Yep, they can stand.
They can stand.
And move a little bit. It's just, I think it's going to be interesting to see, because we like a good overall performance on this show.
Yeah.
So, and last season, I feel like our closest dancer that we had was Crocodile.
Yeah.
So I no one has stood out yet as a big dancer so far. So I'm wondering if Russian dolls have that potential. Maybe they could shed part of their costume as the nesting doll, sort of implies. So I think it'll be cool. We didn't see that with our other duo last season, where we thought they were going to come out of their shell, and they never did.
I think they planned on it, but
yeah, didn't make it far enough. But hopefully, and I think they will, Russian dolls will make it far enough to experiment.
Yeah.
So yeah, shall we jump into clue package?
We shall.
So, like Lauren said, the Cloodle-doo. It's just one do.
Okay.
Cloodle-doo. That was for me, not for you.
The Cloodle-doo clue, I guess.
Cloodle-doo clue. A Russian doll can sometimes have 15 replicas of itself. Clue package. Russian dolls said they have been doing their own thing for quite some time. The visual clues included...
Not on the first episode back, no!
Russian dolls said they've been doing their own thing for quite some time. The visual clues included a Misfit Toys store sign, a container of milk or creamer. Okay, so it was milk or creamer. Breadsticks, puppet strings, boxes with the word office and recycle symbols, a boat helm, a Garden State Highway sign, and a bench that said coming to a country near you soon. Russian doll spoke of being the hottest toy in the world until other new toys came along and filled the shelves, and they were thrown aside.
There was also a train like the Polar Express.
There was a train like the Polar Express. I did not.
Yeah, that as well. Yeah, I don't know. So the Garden State, obviously, that's New Jersey.
Yes.
And as the judges mentioned, that highway also goes through Philly. So there's that. I don't think I have a better guess than their Boys to Men guess. Because I think some of the judges guessed man and woman duos, but based on that Shallow's performance especially, because I could see someone thinking that from this performance.
Yeah.
But from the Shallow performance, I think it's definitely two men.
I think it is too. I would definitely agree that it's probably two men. The 15, I wonder what that 15 could mean, because I think it's significant.
I don't know. Yeah, 15 replicas of itself.
Well, my first thought,
Does somebody have 15 brothers?
I heard replica. I then made the leap to replicant, like replicant from Blade Runner.
Yes.
Harrison Ford and Ryan Gosling. Because in Blade Runner 2049, they were connected.
I mean,
It's
I don't
not that.
think so.
It's
but,
certainly not that.
Interesting through line.
Yeah,
Guess.
I was thinking maybe 15 replicas of itself could be maybe like number of Grammys wins / nominations.
Sure. Yeah.
So I think that's a possibility. I don't know if Boys II Men
or number
have
of
any.
like, songs that broke the Billboard Top 100 or whatever.
Yeah,
or...
it could be a lot of things like that, I think. Yeah, they feel. Hold on, 1, 2, 3,
Here,
4,
let me
5,
look up.
6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15.
Oh, come on. What? 15 what?
15 nominations total. They have
For
4
Grammys?
wins. Yeah.
I think that's it.
It could be. Now, it could be a lot of other things.
15 Grammy
Boys II Men,
wins.
it also feels like it feels too simple that they would guess them immediately.
I mean, you're right.
But who knows?
are right.
They're from Philly, so kind of around that New Jersey area. Probably the Garden State Highway probably goes through Philly, I would guess.
That's what they said, yeah.
So I think that's a good, solid guess to start off. One thing that
They
I
might
actually...
be misleading us, for sure.
Exactly, and I think they might be. One thing that I actually really appreciated about this episode and what I think this season is going to be structured like, there were no gimmies. I don't think any clues or anyone was like, oh, I know who that person is immediately.
Yeah.
I think they're doing a much better job than the Masked Dancer, is what I'm saying, essentially.
Yeah.
But yeah, another thing that's really interesting about Russian dolls, we have no clues about body type, height, anything like that at all.
Yeah, definitely interesting.
And so...
I think maybe we have a little more clues about height with the smaller one.
I guess,
but
yeah.
it's still hard to tell if they're like even shorter than that.
It's still super
or what.
hard to tell. Yeah. So yeah, those are Russian dolls. I'm really excited to see more. I imagine probably the next time they sing is gonna be Shallow, because like I don't think they would wait too
far. It's weird that they give us a clip from like multiple episodes. Because I mean, like I'm sure we all knew that they weren't getting out tonight.
Yeah, exactly.
Like we knew they were gonna be here at least one more day.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it would be a little bold to, especially since there is definitely some other solid talent in this group.
Yeah.
To put it even one more episode in the future.
Yeah, and so. By the way, if you don't know what we're talking about, the Masked Singer on their Instagram released a clip of Russian dolls singing.
Yes.
And that's how we knew it was, we thought it was 2 men, and I still think it is.
Yes.
So.
All right. Shall we move on to Snail?
We'll have to skip Snail.
You're right. I forgot about that.
We will have to skip Snail a bit there.
Yeah, he's a little slow. He has to catch up.
He does. So while we're waiting for him to catch up, we'll move on to our next contestant.
Also in a shell.
Also in a shell. This was our shell week, our shell group. Seashell. So Seashell, by the seashore, sang "Listen to Your Heart" by Roxette. And their Cloodle-Doodle-Doo, by the way, was "No Shells Are the Same." Cloodle-Doo, not Cloodle-Doodle-Doo.
The Cloodle-Doo Clue.
Yes, Cloodle-Doo Clue. What did you think of their performance, Lauren?
I thought they were good. I think they were definitely holding back. I think it's clear that they can do a lot more. They sounded very Broadway to me because they were very mixy, had really solid diction. It sounded like someone with musical theater training trying to do a not musical theater genre.
Yeah. It was, I agree that they felt nervous at the beginning.
I agree.
Because they were a little shaky, but they were very strong by the end.
Yeah, and they did say, I haven't been on stage in forever and stuff like that.
Yep. And this was the one where we really closed in on the bratwurst clue.
Yeah.
Which I guess we'll talk about in a second. But yeah, I mean, I think out of this group, it's going to be hard because we have 2 really strong contestants, but I think they're up there. I think they're easily top 3 in this group. So I don't know if they're going down to a Super 6 like they've done in the past. Yeah. But I think if we do, then Seashell's definitely making it.
I agree. And I still think as well that Seashell definitely has more to offer than what she did here.
I agree.
I think this was her, first week playing it a little safe.
Yeah.
Holding your cards close to your chest.
I'll say, if anyone's going to get eliminated, or if anyone's going to be in the opportunity to get eliminated by a new, what are they called again?
Wild card
contestants, I think Seashell is in that running. Not because she's bad. I think just
maybe not quite as impressive as a couple of the other people.
Not quite as impressive, and potentially not quite as consistent. But once again, we saw 1 week. I don't know exactly how Seashell's going to be, but we'll see.
Interesting.
We'll see.
Let's get into some clues.
Shall we?
All right. So she was pulled by the tide. We saw something that looked like a bratwurst or a hot dog with relish on it.
Yes.
We saw a chameleon. Not necessarily the chameleon that is on this season, not like in costume or anything.
Just general.
Just a chameleon.
Yep.
There was a sandcastle, a tsunami of success.
Yes.
A cowboy hat.
Yep.
A broom, potentially a witch's broom, or like the broom of the sorcerer's apprentice.
Yep.
And then there was a green bell, and they said they haven't sang in a long time.
Yes.
Anything to add?
Let me see. She said she was always adrift and never felt grounded until she found peace by the shore.
Yes.
Yeah.
I did.
Use tsunami of success.
I did say that. Yes.
Okay. Witch's broom.
Yeah.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure.
Sure. Yeah, I mean, one thing I did notice right off the bat, this is such a random thing, and I'm sure it's not important.
Please.
But
who knows, though?
Okay. So, towards the beginning, the waves, they were kind of like, looked like cardboard, right?
Okay, yeah.
And it reminded me of the DVD menu screen that had those waves of the original Series of Unfortunate Events movie with Jim Carrey.
Okay.
So
this
just wonder.
Is Jim Carrey.
No, I just wonder maybe if this could be the girl who played Violet in Series of Unfortunate
Who
Events.
did? Do you know?
Let me look it up.
Because
something.
I don't know. I think that is interesting. One thing that it reminded me of, which is odd, and it's definitely not it. For some reason, the sea, and this doesn't even make sense. The shore that they showed reminded me of a scene in Princess Bride, the scene where they fight, the sword fight scene.
Oh, sure.
But I don't think that's it. But I just thought it was interesting. So one of our housemates, William, as we've mentioned on the show plenty of times, guessed that this was Laura Bell Bundy, which I think is a pretty solid guess. Laura Bell Bundy, if you don't know, she was on Broadway in Legally Blonde and also was a country singer, but has not released music in a while. So I think that could be interesting, like, talking about that. My only hesitation with that is, like, she last released music, I think, in either 2013 or 2015. The way she was speaking, it's been, like, a long time. And so I don't know. I feel like it might be too, I don't know. This person feels like even less of a singer than Laura Bell Bundy.
Sure.
But the bell really makes you think. And like some of the other clues too, the cowboy hat because she became a country singer, a witch's broom, we said she understudied for Kristen Chenoweth in Wicked, right?
That's what somebody said. I think Blake might have said that.
Somebody said it. The hot dog, I don't know. If someone has a clue as to what that hot dog specifically means, let us know. I don't know if it's a specific type of hot dog. It looked more like a bratwurst. I don't know, bratwurst, like, I just don't know. I just don't know. You found it?
So, I guess Violet Baudelaire was Emily Browning. I don't think she's done a ton, though.
I don't know.
Big sad.
I don't know.
I mean, that was just, like, pure vibes. It looks like she has a good bit of credits, but nothing I've really heard of.
Okay.
Aside from that.
Then probably not her, but we'll see, I guess.
Oh, well. But yeah, I mean, I do think Laura Bell Bundy is a good guess. You know, someone who got her start on Broadway, was a country singer, hasn't really released a lot of music recently.
Yeah.
And has that bell.
Yeah.
I thought for sure they were going to guess Kristen Bell just because of the bell, but I guess not.
Yeah.
They also guessed Hilary Duff, which I think is a solid guess because, you know, she has pursued other things from a career perspective, not so much music.
Yeah.
I also looked up, just because it was a bratwurst, you know, Germany. I looked up German celebrities. Kirsten Dunst showed up on that list.
Yeah.
I have no idea if she can sing, but I feel like the vibe matches.
Yeah, I was looking it up too because brats, you know, they are relatively known, I guess, in the U.S. I mean, duh, but they're popular in a lot of the what Wikipedia was saying, the North Midwest area. So like Wisconsin was the big one they said. However, they also mentioned places like Minnesota, Ohio, and Laura Bell Bundy is from Ohio.
Okay, not bad.
So that could be something, maybe. But I feel like it's a little bit of a stretch. But
it is a little bit of a stretch, especially since that was the clue that was highlighted by
that was highlighted. I don't know what that could mean.
Because I feel like it would be weird if they highlighted it just to be like, hey, brats are popular in many states, including Ohio, and this person's from Ohio. Like, that feels like a big stretch.
It does.
So, I don't know. I wonder if it could have something to do with, like, I don't know, if it's a brat, like... Or maybe if it's a hot dog, something to, like, in a film or something to do with a dog.
A brat? Who was in Bratz,
like
the
a Bratz
movie.
doll. I don't know.
Bratz the movie, anyone?
Or I don't know, like there was
don't
relish on it. Like I don't know what that could mean.
Yeah, there's a lot of things, which is why I like it, because we don't know
someone who was
it
in
is.
like maybe a movie that had like a state fair in it or something
Sure.
like that.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. A lot of guesses. Laura Bundy is what we have for now.
Yeah.
No two shells are the same. That quote sounds familiar. I know it's not with shells.
Well,
but
right. I mean, or,
no
you know,
two
snowflakes.
Yeah,
or
no two
fingerprints.
snowflakes. No two are
I
the same.
yeah, I don't know.
I don't know.
I'm trying to think if there's like
No two people.
because I feel like Laura Bundy obviously is most well known. I mean, I guess A, her country music, and B, for playing Elle Woods in Legally Blonde on Broadway.
Yeah.
So I mean, I was trying to think if there was anything even remotely like
Legally
Elle
Blonde.
Woods
Sure.
related, and I couldn't really think of anything in
Yeah,
the Clue
me neither.
package, to be honest with you. I don't know. I think her voice sounds a lot like her, though. I think, again, this is someone who probably has a lot more to offer than what they did here.
Yeah, I agree. We got room to grow for
So
sure.
yeah, I'm excited to see what she does.
Yeah. And I'm sure we'll see her for many more episodes.
Hopefully, yeah.
So excited to see you do more, Seashell. Blow our minds.
Boom.
Alrighty. Let's move on. They had a little Cloodle Doodle Doo intro. Clue Doodle Doo. Cloodle Doodle Doo. Clue Doodle.
I don't know, man.
Okay.
I don't know.
They had that chicken do a little bit of stuff. And
he hacked the show.
He hacked the show, but he didn't really offer anything besides highlighting that brought Clue.
And kind of just introducing himself.
Yeah, he said, hi,
He was like, "Oh, and can you guess who I am?"
Hi, I'm
and
the
I
chicken.
Said, well, no, because your
Yeah.
voice is disguised, and we have
you
no
haven't
clues
given us
about you.
any clues whatsoever. So thanks, mister. God,
Anyway,
dumb chicken.
yeah. So next we have the raccoon.
The raccoon.
All
Fun.
right.
A very fun contestant.
Ah, yes.
So let us talk about what.
So I will say,
one thing we haven't really talked about the costumes, and I know we said we were going to talk a little bit more about
you're
the
right.
costumes.
You're right. Yeah. Well, first of all, I
Let's-
want to say I'd only really seen a blurry picture of Seashell up until tonight.
It was
'cause
was really cool.
Yeah, it was one of the ones they didn't like officially announce.
Yeah.
You know, till the end.
Yeah.
Or like up before the episode actually aired. So I actually really like Seashell's costume more than I thought. The only thing I
Yeah.
don't love, which you mentioned earlier, is that there are lips on the costume, but then you can see like their chin moving below
Yes.
where the face ends.
Yep.
So that's a little odd.
It's I don't like it. I'll just say it.
But I think this is the costume, out of this group that definitely lends itself the most to movement, to dancing.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping that they do something with that.
Yeah, and I think it'll look good dancing too.
Yeah.
Like it's got the little flowy
sure.
thing in the back. That'll be fun. We sort of already talked about Russian dolls because we said they were creepy.
I think they're interesting.
They are interesting, and I think there's a lot of opportunity to do things with their costumes.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
potentially pop out of them.
No, yeah,
etc.
I'm interested to see what kind of innovations they've built into these costumes, but if they haven't built in anything beyond the mouth moving, I guess I would be a little disappointed.
Agreed. So yeah, now let's talk about Raccoon's costume real quick, I
Yes.
guess. Still great. I love this costume. I think it's so much fun.
I think it's really fun.
Yeah, unfortunately we're not going to get to see it a whole lot more.
I thought we were not going to see it after tonight, but we'll get to that.
I agree. So yeah, let's talk about Raccoon saying wild things. Well, saying is strong.
That's a strong word.
Uh,
Yelled wild things?
Groveled wild things by the Trogs. So
Yes.
we already kind of tipped our hand a little bit. What did you think of Raccoon's performance, Lauren?
Jackson, I thought it was terrible.
Well, Lauren, Cloodle Doo said raccoons are known for being sharp.
All right.
So he's sharp up there.
Maybe that has something to do with like the knife we saw in the clue package. I don't know.
That is true, because we did see a razor blade.
Yeah, I don't know.
Any honk. Yeah, this was rough.
Well, it was just like the rhythm was off. He wasn't singing.
He was.
To be honest, it just like it made my throat hurt listening to it.
This is not a healthy man.
No, definitely
Whoever
not.
this is.
Well, and he seemed fairly
It is
mobile
not
when
a
he
healthy
first
man.
walked
He
out.
did. He really did. And throughout the performance, he seemed relatively mobile.
Yeah.
Something with his throat. He's gonna not. Oof.
Oh man.
He had like a whole set too.
He really did. Yeah,
And
with all the
they
trash
set up a
cans,
lot.
the dancers. They
Well,
were doing a lot, I think, to maybe
It was funny
distract
because when they
from
set it
him.
up with the clue package, obviously you could hear the gravel in his voice, and I'm like, huh, that seems pretty
He sounded
rough.
like he had a little bit of a New York accent.
Yeah. But yeah, I was like, that sounds pretty rough. I hope he can sing.
Yeah.
I was disappointed.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I do really like this costume, but we're simply just not going to see it for a long time.
Yeah.
All right.
So anyway,
Clues.
so there was a license plate on the hat that was for California. The hat also had
Yeah.
like a tin can on it with some fish. I mean,
Yeah.
like Fisher vest, whatever.
Yeah.
I just remembered in the preview episode, I guessed that this was Sacha Baron Cohen because the Fisher thing, and he's married to Isla Fisher, which is crazy to me. But yeah, this is not Sacha Baron Cohen.
No, it's not, unless he's just putting on a
big old show.
A real show, which he could.
I mean, he could,
but I don't think it's him.
So this was a very dramatic clue package. He was all I have to go through hell for a happy ending.
It was prison themed.
Yeah.
So he was in prison. He spoke of reading the book The Hunchback of Notre Dame and how he was Quasimodo. He said he wasn't innocent. He said he wasn't innocent. He was actually a monster, but that he promised God if he ever got a second chance, he'd only do good. Visual clues included the book and a stained glass window that showed Raccoon killing a snake. Snakes on a plane. Samuel L. Jackson. Next.
I mean,
I am kidding.
I don't know. I mean, stepping on a snake makes me think of like the "Don't tread on me" thing, but I also don't really want to get into that. I guess.
Well, didn't they guess Ted Cruz? That would kind of make sense.
They did guess Ted Cruz.
It's not Ted Cruz though.
No, because they guessed Ted Cruz for Snail.
Did they?
Yeah, they did.
Oh, sure.
Anyway, so okay, so there was also a thing I don't know if you want to mention with the costume.
Yes, I would.
About yet.
I wouldn't mind it. So we talked about this a little bit in our preview episode, but one thing I noticed about the costume that I think is probably something is that the left arm is a different color and pattern than the rest of the shirt.
Yeah.
The rest of the shirt is like a red and black, but the arm is black and white. And just like a different pattern. The left arm. So I think that might mean something. I don't know what it could mean, but I think it means something.
Yeah, definitely. Well, because, we had Thingamajig back in season 2.
Yeah.
Had a whole thing where one of his legs was like a different color and had a tear at the knee to signify a knee injury.
Yeah, exactly. So I definitely think that could mean something for Raccoon. So there are a couple people, I mean, a guess that I'm probably going to stick with that immediately when I heard this person just grovel again, scream through the night. I thought it was Gary Busey just because of his voice. And there are a lot of clues that sort of match up with him. Gary Busey famously, A, had a huge motorcycle accident, and B, was, has been in and out of rehab, almost had a cocaine overdose, and then sort of devoted his life to God. So I think a lot of that sort of matches up with what was being said.
I definitely agree. Anything else to say about Gary Busey? I had actually guessed Gary Busey as a potential Snail guest because Snail, Gary, SpongeBob, Gary Busey.
Yeah, exactly.
And we thought it wasn't going to be someone very mobile.
Okay.
But yeah, I think that's definitely a good guess.
My father actually just remember he said he had a lock for this?
Okay. Was it for Raccoon?
It was.
Oh.
He thinks it's Danny Trejo, which I think is a strong guess as well.
Interesting. I actually saw that guess in my brief Googling.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's a strong guess because Danny Trejo also is oh wait. Hold on. Who had the donut? I said there was a donut at the beginning of one of the clue packages. Who had that?
I don't remember seeing a donut at all.
It was very brief. Hold on. You talk for a second.
Okay. Well, I mean, my guess for this, it might be Danny Trejo, so never mind. But my guess was Jack. We had thought, okay, maybe someone who wrecked their voice in like a hard rock metal kind of band. So we thought, okay, who was the lead singer for AC/DC? Now, obviously, the original lead singer for AC/DC is no longer alive, but Brian Johnson was his replacement. He is a British British singer, and he retired because he was losing his hearing. He, I guess, had lost pretty much all of his hearing in his left ear, which is like the left arm, during an auto racing incident. Which you would think it would be from performing and screaming, and being in front of speakers, but it was actually from racing. And then he had to retire because he was starting to lose hearing in his right ear as well. So I think that could have something to do with the sleeve thing with the costume. But I don't know if he was putting on a New York accent. I mean, he's, from the UK. I would assume he probably doesn't have a New York accent.
Yeah.
And I'm also not quite sure what the California thing could be. So Yeah, I don't know, but that was kind of my guess based on just, messed up vocals and also maybe what that one sleeve could mean.
Yeah. I think that Danny Trejo is a very good guess, to be honest. Because Danny Trejo, it was Raccoon who had the donut at the beginning.
Okay.
And I pointed that out and I didn't know what it meant. If it is Danny Trejo, it makes a lot of sense. Because Danny Trejo has donut shops out here in LA.
Oh, really?
That would make sense. He's from LA. He's from Echo Park out here. So that would make sense. A lot of the stuff with the, getting into trouble and having to, come back would also make sense for him. Just because of, he was in and out of prison and things like that.
Sure.
The God thing, I don't see any reference to him crediting, like, God for his, comeback. However, there was the snake. Danny Trejo was in Anaconda. Anaconda,
you mean
the movie?
that awful movie that you guys watched?
You watch it. Anaconda's a great movie. But yes, that movie. He also has credited his appearance, suggested that his physical appearance contributed to him getting in trouble, which I feel like kind of Quasimodo type thing.
That's fair.
Appearance.
Okay.
So Danny Trejo's a really strong guess. Thank you, Father.
Yeah. Well, I guess the only other thing I wanted to bring up for Gary Busey, I feel kind of bad about this, but I Googled Gary Busey, Hunchback of Notre Dame, and I saw some random Blogspot post talking about how, like, just this person thought his face looked like Quasimodo.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh my God. But I wonder, it's like, if that's something he gets a lot, like, that's just something that the haters say.
Yeah.
It could be something that could show up in a clue package for him.
Maybe. It's possible.
Anyway.
But, yeah, all right. So that's Raccoon, one of those people who have ruined their voice.
Yeah.
Boom.
Wow.
All right.
Our last performer of the night, before we get to the person who got out.
Yes. So technically second last. But it's ROBOpine, the artist formerly known as Porcupine.
Yeah.
So
that was interesting. We've never had someone come out and announce that their name is actually
announce
different.
A name change. It's powerful. I wonder could that be a clue? Someone who's changed their name?
Oh, maybe someone who has a stage name.
Someone who has a stage name. I think that's probably a strong. We're always thinking on the Masked Singer.
Big brain.
Or on the Who Is That, the Masked Singer and Dancer podcast.
I mean, or even if it was something like, because I don't know, I feel like that, y'all don't know thing that they did with the Men in Black.
I thought that could be something.
That gave me kind of like wrestling vibes almost.
Okay, sure.
Like that just kind of very performative, I don't know, like telling somebody off, I guess.
Yeah,
in a way.
Sure.
So I wonder if, even if they weren't a wrestler, someone who is like maybe slightly wrestler adjacent.
Maybe.
That could be interesting.
That's definitely possible. Let's talk about this costume, because it's incredible. It's probably my favorite costume.
Yeah. I mean, definitely my favorite on this group.
Yeah. There are some really strong costumes next week, actually, that we will see. But yes, ROBOpine's awesome.
Yeah.
It's an awesome costume. And let's talk about his song, Never Too Much by Luther Vandross. He killed it.
He killed it. He sounded so good.
Probably the best voice we had tonight, would you say?
I don't know. I think Russian Dolls were my favorite.
Okay.
Vocally. I think that ROBOpine didn't necessarily sound like someone who's made a career out of singing.
Really?
But maybe someone who has made a career as an actor and maybe has also sung in something once in a while.
Huh.
I got more of that vibe.
Who do you think that would be? I'm kidding. Well, the person, because I know the person you're thinking has also made much of a career out of singing. What? I'm confused. Why are you
I'll
doing
get
this?
to it. Never mind.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know what Lauren's talking about.
Yeah, so I think this could be someone who is like a naturally talented singer, but maybe doesn't have a bunch of training. Just listening to their vibrato, it didn't sound super steady.
Really?
To me. I think there's someone who has like a silky smooth voice, but maybe doesn't do this professionally. Maybe they have had some lessons. But I don't think there's someone who like...
I think this is a trained singer. Okay. I really do. We're gonna start disagreeing
I just thought of something like based on one of my guesses that made me kind of want to lock that in.
Okay.
Anyway.
So let's talk about the clue package.
Yeah.
So ROBOpine said he might look prickly, but don't be scared.
Also the cloodle.
Porcupine is skilled in not becoming roadkill.
Yes.
Yes. He said he had to fend for himself as a child and went on a mission to get on Hollywood's radar. Visual clues included DNA and a George Washington statue. The package had a sci-fi theme to it. He said an angel had said hello and changed everything, and that he was on to his next mission. He said when he has his sights set on something, no one can touch him. He claimed to be 60 years old and said his kids and grandkids told him to hang it up a long time ago, but the panel seemed to doubt that statement was true.
Okay.
All right, Lauren, you go ahead.
Okay, so there was a
You
little
go ahead.
statue that looked kind of like George Washington. And you know who is 62 years old, Jackson?
Who?
Denzel Washington.
Okay. Yep.
I don't know if he can sing,
Yep.
but again, that would be someone who would fit the bill of an actor who, you know, potentially could just be a naturally talented singer. I'm about to look up if he actually has grandkids.
Sure.
But I just made that name connection and was like, whoa!
I am...
Because I think people would definitely be
confused.
surprised for it to be him.
For it to be Denzel, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, you keep talking.
I doubt that this person is 60 just because of the way they moved and the way they sound. It doesn't sound like someone who's that old. I'll be really impressed if it's someone who's 60.
But again, I think that especially with celebrities, like 60 is not
It's not that
old
old.
compared to some of the people we've seen.
But
And
it
I
was
think
more the
especially
voice.
if you have like the resources to stay healthy, you know.
Yeah, I guess. I don't know. I doubt it, but we'll see. I mean, it would be a weird thing to like lie about, but it's also a weird thing to say. It's a weird thing to be so
I
upfront
agree.
about.
Yeah.
You know, because that narrows it down significantly, especially with someone who I think easily could have been guessed as someone younger. Why do
Yeah.
you reveal that episode 1? That's my thing. I don't know. We'll see. I loved ROBOpine. I thought he was great. I thought he was fantastic.
Yeah, I thought he was awesome.
I had a couple guesses. Let me see. So, listen, everybody. They had a swear jar on the show that said, hey, you guys guess the same people a lot. And one of those people, the person who's been guessed easily the most, is Jamie Foxx. And you know what I'm going to do right now, Lauren? I'm going to guess Jamie Foxx, because I think it's Jamie Foxx.
He did really sound like him.
He sounded a lot like him. A lot of the clues matched up too. However, one thing I will say, ROBOpine's clues especially were vague. I don't think there were any like super specific ones that we could latch onto.
I mean, they know he's going to be here for a while, but
Which
that
is
was
good.
also why it was again surprising that he was like, "I'm 60 and I have grandkids."
Exactly.
So, yeah, I don't know. It's just tough to know what to think about it because it's like, okay, well, if the contestants can come up there and straight up lie,
Then how can you
then
trust?
how can we really trust? I mean, like, I think we just have to kind of trust that the clue packages are at least true, but it just seems weird that they'd be able to say something that's a straight up lie.
Yeah,
You
for
know?
sure.
So I don't know.
Yeah, talk about who you... I guess you already talked about Denzel.
I already kind of talked about it. I also wanted to bring up, I don't remember if I guessed him for this person in our preview episode, but potentially like a Lionel Richie. He is 71, so definitely older.
Yeah.
Than
I think
than
Nicole
Denzel.
guessed Lionel Richie. Someone guessed Lionel Richie too.
Yeah. And also Samuel L. Jackson, 68. He seems pretty spry still.
Yeah, I just don't think he has that good of a voice.
I don't think he has that good of a voice.
One person who I thought when they first stepped out, the vibe gave me Terry Crews vibes.
I could see that.
But-
Just like, at least like someone who's like played a fighter for sure.
Yeah, like this person feels big.
Yeah.
I don't know how big they are, because I'm sure there's a lot of padding on the costume, but they feel pretty bulky.
Yeah.
At least tall-ish, so I could see
would tend
Terry
to
Crews.
Agree.
Yeah. All right. Shall we?
And then also just on the vein of the Washington thing as well, you know, we had
Chris
guessed
Jackson.
Chris Jackson last season correct for Serpent. So that's another thing that could be the case here.
Yes. All right.
Because he played George Washington in Hamilton. I guess I didn't say that.
And I love him.
Me too.
So,
Okay, let's go to our last contestant.
once again, we kind of fooled you all a bit. We said, oh, Snail's coming. You know, he's just waiting. We saved Snail for last because he got out. That's why we did it. We do that on the
I guess
show.
if you're new, that's kind of something we do.
We do that. So we fooled you all. Sorry about that. However, we're back to our regularly scheduled programming. So Snail.
Okay.
Let's talk about their performance.
Yeah.
And then go from there. So, Snail sang You Make My Dreams Come True by Hall & Oates. Cloodle Doo's clue was the snail is a natural treasure. kind of like a national treasure, which
we
the
were
contestant
like,
was.
Nick Cage.
I hoped. Talk about Snail's performance, Lauren.
Well, I thought it was fine. I think Snail definitely did not deserve to get out tonight, considering the abomination that was Raccoon.
Yes.
The trash panda that was Raccoon.
Correct.
But, so I was like, okay, Snail's got to be somebody really big. And based on the voice, Blake immediately was like, oh, this is Dr. Phil. And both Blake and I have been in the audience for Dr. Phil and have seen him speak in person for long periods of time.
Yeah. And it was interesting because there was the Dr. Drew clues.
He had that kind of twang. Yeah, there was Dr. Drew.
So we thought doctor to doctor. Yeah.
And just someone who was like host, producer, director, all that kind of stuff. Like he sort of filled all those roles, has that kind of twang, and we were like, okay, has met a lot of celebrities and worked with a lot of celebrities. We were like, gotta be Dr. Phil, and especially because he has a show like every day.
Yeah, we're like, okay, this person probably needs to get out.
It makes sense that they probably need to get out, maybe before their time.
However, maybe we should have taken more into account the fact that this was like a very unique costume in the fact that it was clearly someone either in a wheelchair or sitting down. Which, now that I think about it, would it be distasteful to put someone in a wheelchair who doesn't use a wheelchair?
Well, not that he uses a wheelchair. I think this was a remote control costume with a wooden platform with someone sitting in a chair.
Yeah.
But I mean, I could see Dr. Phil. He is older, and yes, he does still walk, but I mean, Robin walks him out of every show, you know what I mean?
Sure.
Like, he's not spry, like, he can walk, but I think he might have, I could see him preferring to sit.
Sure. I think hindsight's 20/20 with this one. Like,
I agree.
If we would have known this was possible. Let's talk about the clue. Wait, we talked about the clues, I guess. Right? No, we didn't.
We vaguely did. There were also lots of meatballs.
There were lots of meatballs. There was a clipboard that said he's acted, directed, produced, recorded albums, and even graced an Oscar stage. Visual clues included a UFO, a large teddy bear, a sign that said
Dr. Drew,
a cam, a treasure chest, meatballs, Dr. Drew, eco costume, late night theme for the whole thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, Lauren, I'll drum roll you in, and then you can say who it is.
Okay. Kermit the Frog here.
It was Kermit the Frog.
I have never been so angry at a Masked Singer episode, and that's saying something.
And I liked it. I'll just say that. I'm not going to say Lauren is unfounded in what she thinks.
I just think, they, like, the judges, and I mean, we literally said this sitting on the couch. We were like, oh, it's funny, he's kind of doing almost like a Kermit the Frog voice.
We did. We mentioned.
We never would have guessed Kermit the Frog because he's not a celebrity. He's not a person.
Hey,
like, he is a character invented by Jim Henson, who is not even alive anymore, and this is definitely not even the actor who has voiced Kermit the Frog, definitely not in the original Muppet movies, and probably not even the new ones.
Yeah.
He, like, honestly didn't even really sound like Kermit the Frog, TBH.
Sure.
I'm just so angry. Because it's just like, if we can let Kermit the Frog be contestant on The Masked Singer, then, like, what's next? Are we gonna have Minnie Mouse? Are we gonna have Winnie the Pooh? Like, I don't know, Tom and Jerry were credited as themselves in the new Tom and Jerry movie. Are we gonna have Jerry up here? Like, where does it end if we're gonna open up that can of worms?
So I think there are a couple of things. If you don't mind, I'm going to make an argument sort of opposite what you're saying of why I didn't mind it. Is that all right?
That's fine.
Okay. So I think I don't mind this for a couple of reasons. Number one, I don't expect this to be a traditional thing. I don't expect it to be consistent. I think it's certainly going to be the only contestant like this on this season. Maybe the only contestant like this ever.
But I just feel like if people don't straight up say now that they think it's stupid, then they're gonna probably do it. Maybe not even next season, but the season after. Like, I think they opened up that possibility now, and I hate that they now have an open door to keep doing it.
I think it's a little bit of a unique situation because I don't think while I hear one of our arguments for people who liked it was that Kermit is credited as himself in the Muppets movies. Like,
yes, but I bet I could say the same about, I don't know, Elmo. Elmo's appeared with lots of celebrities who make guest appearances on Sesame Street.
So correct.
And I don't want to see Elmo on The Masked Singer!
So correct. Elmo is different. However, with a lot of other fictional characters, like you mentioned Tom and Jerry, that's not really a possibility because they're animated. Like, because Kermit has a physical being, I think it's a little bit different. So maybe we open it up for Muppets and Sesame Street characters. However, not saying that we should. I think it's a little bit creative because if I had to guess, I don't know their motives. If I had to guess, the season was probably tougher to find celebrities for because of schedules and also because of COVID. So I kind of like the idea of using one of their contestant slots, something unique. Once again, like Lauren said, it probably, like, you know, they might have just found a Kermit impersonator, which I'm a little bit okay with because it added something new. It was the first episode of the season. We didn't have a huge build up to, oh my gosh, who is it? And it turned out to be Kermit. I would have been a little disappointed at that. I'm fine we got it out of the way. It was a little gimmick on the first episode. Now we still have 14 other contestants to guess. I didn't mind it.
I just think this is such a cop-out. I would have rather seen, like, some C-list celebrity that I didn't really know than Kermit the Frog.
I would not. Because when that celebrity was unmasked and I saw them, I would be like, oh, I guess that's fine. Whatever. That's cool.
But I wouldn't have been angry.
Yeah, well, I guess it's different because I wasn't angry to begin with. So, I feel like I would rather be angry or elated than indifferent.
I disagree.
Well, there you go.
Yeah,
I'm why
really
we're
co-hosts.
Mad. That's
really
why we're
mad.
Co-hosts, Lauren, because we have different points of view.
So I mentioned this to Jackson earlier. So I don't know if you guys are familiar. I don't remember her name, but there's like this big like influencer on Instagram who is not a real person. She's an AI, and she was just like created by a bunch of people. We don't really know like the specifics of who's behind it, whatever. But yeah, she's an influencer. She literally is like represented by CAA. You know, she's a big deal. She's released music. We don't know who does the voice for her, stuff like that. So at this point, she's about as much of a real celebrity as Kermit.
Well, okay.
Like, I understand less famous. I just mean in terms of how real...
Kermit has more clout.
How real those two entities are,
sure.
You know? But at the same time, it's like, well, she's not a real person. She's actually created and, you know, her content is produced by a lot of different people. Like a whole team of people. So I just think that, like, I think part of the fun of The Masked Singer is guessing the contestants. And if we're having to open it up to Muppets and potentially AI influencers or, you know, Sesame Street characters, I'm kind of not on board for that. Like, I'm really mad about that because... You know, we even mentioned, okay, this person sounds like Kermit, but of course we never would have guessed Kermit because Kermit is not a person.
Yeah.
That's all.
Well, once again, I think I'm more okay with it because we only had to see them for one episode and then they're off. And I truly... Now, we can have this conversation later if this becomes a more consistent thing. I don't think it's going to be a consistent thing. So for a one-off thing, I'm like, oh, cool, you surprised me a little bit. Because one thing I don't like is like what we had on The Masked Dancer, where you could guess everybody week one.
I agree. I don't like that.
And so the fact that I was
being able to figure out the clues. And there was no way for us to figure out these clues because we did not think that Kermit was in the realm of guesses.
Sure. I guess for me, it's not as, like, you know, it was, we had one shot to guess if we didn't whatever, you know, because they were going out. I think we just have different perspectives on it, and that's fine.
Yeah.
Once again, I don't think we're going to have this conversation again because I don't think it's really going to happen.
Yeah, I mean, I really hope it doesn't happen. I just know, like, they did a duo for the first time last season. They brought it back this season. I hope they're not testing the waters on this to do it again on season 7.
See, I don't think it's interesting enough to do it again, personally. Like, I think once it's like, oh, that's fun. You do it a second time, it's like, all right, guys, this is getting old. You know, I think duos is interesting because it still has that factor.
It's still
people and yeah. So like I don't think we're gonna have to worry about this conversation again. But it was good fodder for episode 1. A lot to talk about. All right.
Well, good. I'll see you next week.
Welcome
hopefully,
to
if I don't decide to quit The Masked Singer by then.
Listen, I'll carry on this podcast solo. If you see an application online for co-host of Who Is That Podcast, please submit. I'm lonely. But yeah, overall, I know you didn't like it. I really liked episode 1. I thought it was a fun way to start off the season.
I thought it was a great episode until the reveal.
I like how this season is structured. There's going to be a lot of surprises, a lot of fun things, and I'm just excited.
Yeah, I'm really excited. Especially like that whole circus thing at the beginning got me really excited.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think, Niecy Nash is going to be great. I don't know how many esporads she's sticking around, but I'm really excited for that.
Yeah.
And the wild cards are going to be fun too. And
exactly.
I forgot to place my bets on Fox Bet Super 6 this week.
Yes.
But I will definitely be doing it next week because I would like to win some money.
Correct. Me too. Way too early predictions for who's gonna win?
Who's going to take it all?
Yeah.
My favorite's Russian Dolls, man.
ROBOpine. I'm a ROBOpine
I think
stan.
ROBOpine's great too.
I just love that costume. I just want to see
The
it
costume
for
is
as
so
long
good.
as I can.
Yeah, and I think especially he definitely has more mobility. Could be different if he actually is in his 60s, but definitely has more mobility than the Russian Dolls.
Yeah.
So that could make the difference.
For sure. I agree. Okay.
All right.
I think that's going to do it for us. Please join us again next week where we talk about Group B. We'll have whole new contestants, whole new opinions, whole new hot takes.
Yeah, and if they reveal Miss Piggy, I might really quit.
We'll see. Okay. I'll allow it one more time if it's Miss Piggy, because they're a couple, a little competitive fire.
Unforgivable.
All right.
If Phoenix is Miss Piggy, a competitive fire.
That's not bad. That is not bad.
I will quit.
Alrighty, folks. We'll see you next week, no matter what, on
Who Dat, the Masked Singer
and Singer
Podcast.
Podcast.